Hello, this is Nima Golubay on KUCI 88.9 Irvine. So we had a fail, and we accidentally recorded this, and Sarah over here.
Well, okay, guys, I'm in front of Nima, and Nima's looking at the soundboard, and he didn't realize I was on mic.
You're still not on.
What do you mean? Oh, oh my God, Nima.
Sorry, she still wasn't on. We're gonna keep this in though.
That's okay. Yeah, Nima is an incompetent PA show host. Is kind of like the gist of this. He was like, he put on mic 1 and 2, and he didn't realize I was on a mic 3, and so he was like talking about challengers, and I was looking, and I was like, I'm not on mic 2. I'm on mic 3. So then I had to tell him, and now we're restarting. But it's okay because then we got really sidetracked on the first one.
No, trust me, with PA shows you do get sidetracked, and that's part of the fun.
Okay,
Remember when that
well,
creep from last time asked us about Human Centipede?
he is a loyal fan of yours.
No, he's great.
Yeah.
I love him. He's a great man.
Me too. He was really excited about it.
So this movie, Challengers, we're gonna just rehash what we did
Yeah.
8 minutes ago. So why'd you recommend this movie to me instead of Virgin Suicides, which is the movie we talked about last time, and I kind of like subtly hinted to you like that could be a topic for the show.
Yeah, so Nemo was like, you pick a movie, and I was like, he wants me to choose The Virgin Suicides so bad, and I'm going to subvert his expectations, and I'm going to pick Challengers. I also think with Challengers, there's a lot more we can discuss, whereas with The Virgin Suicides, you'd probably be like, well, this is a movie for girls, and I don't really know what else to say about it. So I think there's a lot more here that we can agree and disagree on.
So you think Challengers is more like for the boys?
No, I think Challengers is one of those like neutral movies.
I felt the same way.
Yeah.
I felt like the men will get something out of it, but it'll be totally different than what the women get out of it.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that could be true. But I also feel like we agree on what we got out of it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just like how you read into it.
Right. I guess that is true. So, okay, we got to introduce the actors again. So the character named Art is played by a guy that no one's ever heard of. His name is Mike Faced. Josh O'Connor plays Patrick Zwig. So those are two male characters. And then there's Zendaya, who plays Tashi,
This is true.
and she's a woman.
And that she is.
And according to you, this is like a love triangle.
I don't think it's it's a codependency triangle.
I like that word.
Yeah, I think this is a movie about codependency and how that dynamic plays between these three characters and how it's symbolized by tennis.
Yes, and you know what this movie does good? It makes tennis fun.
I love tennis.
Tennis is boring.
No, it's not.
I played tennis when I was a kid,
Okay.
and basically when my coach quit, it just wasn't fun anymore.
Oh, man.
So I think tennis is kind of boring, but this movie does a great job.
The editing in this movie is crazy.
Mostly good.
It's crazy. It's insane.
Okay, so you chose a movie that is a little bit sus, a little bit dirty. So it's kind of hard to talk about what you want to say on KUCI here.
I mean, I could talk about it without talking about anything dirty, because I think the dirty, like, it like works for the movie, but it's not essential to the plot. It just kind of drives the plot in a way. It doesn't really it's not the center of the movie.
In a way, it's like kind of is.
It's its own character, I think. The like innuendos and the whatnot. It does have its role, but
Okay. I just inhaled dust. This place
it's really
is filthy.
dusty in here.
Yeah,
It's dusty and it's hot. It's like a desert.
it's really bad in here.
Yeah.
But it's what happens when you pre-record a show. So as we talked about like 8 minutes ago, villain is Zendaya, who is Tashi.
Yeah.
Loser is Art. And the great man is Patrick.
Which I understand your reasoning for that, but I can't say that I agree wholeheartedly. I'm just like, that's one way of looking at it, you know? There's another way of looking at it where they're all horrible, and they're all doing the same thing to each other, just they're getting different things out of it. But Tashi
That's
is the
how you're
most
gonna say it.
manipulative, for sure. Like, if you want to say villain, like, you can say villain.
Yeah. But as I discussed, we're about to our recap of where we got last time.
Yeah.
So, Art has a little bit of redemption at the end, and we'll talk about the ending because I feel it's one of the reasons probably a lot of people in our generation wouldn't like this movie.
The ending?
Yes.
I think most people love the ending.
All right, we'll debate that when we get to it.
Okay.
So, all right, let me pull up like the plot synopsis to guide us.
Okay, yeah.
Where is this thing? Okay, here we go. I watched this like an hour and a half ago, so holy moly, this is long. Okay. Just introduce the movie for
I'll
us, the
do it.
basic concept.
So basically it revolves around these three characters, Tashi, Art, and Patrick. They're all tennis players. They all meet kind of like right as they're leaving high school, and they have like the two male characters are like in love with Zendaya's character, and they like fight for her number, and she eventually ends up dating Patrick. But then, you know, over time things happen and she gets together with Art, and Art and Patrick were best friends, and then they had a falling out because of Tashi. And then over the years they played tennis respectively. Tashi had an accident, so she had to stop playing tennis, but she became Art's coach. And so then Art became a really, really great tennis player, like top 100, and Patrick was kind of like a loser who was just like playing for money every now and then. And eventually Patrick and Art face off in this challenger. And the movie is kind of about like how they all got to this game where Art and Patrick are challenging each other in that day.
That's a good synopsis.
Thank
and
you.
Basically the way the film works, and I do like it, and I thought it worked well, is it like goes back and forth through time and like builds up your understanding of the characters and everything in a non-linear fashion. And we should say that Art snakes his best friend,
Yeah.
basically steals this woman from him, but also like turns him into the villain.
Yeah.
And this whole time I'm watching the movie until the end, I'm like, all right, Art has to be put down. He's a dog.
Okay.
He needs to
He is
be
a lap dog.
destroyed at this point. Yeah, another thing. Okay. I'm going to say it.
Oh.
Art is like the beta male. He basically,
Nima.
he can't defend himself. He doesn't know what he wants. He basically he's a vessel for like her ambition. And she's a great coach, as you said. And she like makes his career. And then, you know, when the real Art starts coming out at the end and he's like tired, he's going the way of the dodo. And then she's like rekindling her romance with the one she actually wants to be with. But she basically like made the wrong choice and backed Art over here, who should have been put down, really.
This is so interesting. I'm like, okay.
Until the end, where he's redeemed, in my opinion, because, I don't know, he just came off as like a massive traitor the whole movie.
Oh, for sure.
And I felt he barely deserves like the fame he got, because he never really would have got there unless he had someone ambitious like pushing him to do it. So I felt like he was kind of like an actor almost. And I don't know, I really hated him the whole movie. And then, like I said, the end I felt was the only way you could do this movie, because you would disappoint too many people by either making Art the winner, not of the match but of life.
Okay, yeah.
Or like, you know, doing a happy ending with Patrick and Tashi. So I felt like it was a good ending where it was like ambiguous, where okay, they become friends again, but also like she's happy over there.
Yeah. Okay, I have a different interpretation of the film.
Yes.
I think you can't really talk about who's good and who's bad because all of them are using each other for different things. And the way that that plays out and the dynamics that happen because of that is what makes the movie interesting. And I think depending on what you value, art is a loser. But that's just depending on how you look at it. No.
I value what art I value what art achieved, but I also think like he himself it's not really his in a way.
Well,
Because
okay.
it wouldn't have lasted if the movie went to its conclusion as he was going. He was like, quickly depreciating. He peaked. He was going down. He was going down in the dumps.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to go to zero. And they saved him in that moment because he was going to total zero and he deserved it. But, oh yeah, I was going to say something else. Oh yeah, the reason why art comes off so bad is because you said like they're all using each other for different purposes. I think that it's true that he's using his wife as like motivation
For sure.
because he has no confidence,
Yeah.
and she's using him for like success.
Yeah, she's like living vicariously through him.
Yeah, she wants to have what he has.
Yeah.
But the reason art comes off so bad is the only two that aren't really using each other are the friends, the beginning two friends, Patrick and Art.
Yeah.
They're just friends. They have
kind
like
of like complete each other in a way.
Yeah, but like they have a purer relationship than the husband and wife in the failed marriage.
Yeah.
So, and Art throws it away and like snakes his friend, and then, like I said before we got cut off from the last time, when you be a snake in life, you have to commit to being fully a snake. You cannot trust anyone, and he trusts his wife, and his wife, she does not
Well, he's like hopelessly devoted to her, so
yeah, but she's not devoted to him.
yeah, no.
So he sort of makes a poor decision in becoming a snake, and then he's left out in the wilderness, and he peaks, and he's like going down, but then he gets saved at the end. Okay, I talked for a bit. What do you have to say?
Okay, well, I was gonna say, like, you kind of touched on it, like, Art uses Tashi as motivation, but Tashi uses Art as, like, her success, like, she's living vicariously through him, but then Patrick creates this, like, weird little third thing, because Patrick, like, I guess it's established really early in the film that, like, Patrick is just kind of cool, and that's why he can play tennis well, is it just comes, like, he's just confident.
Yes.
But Art, it has like a natural gift for tennis, but he's like anxious. He doesn't have the same confidence that Patrick has. And so that like balances them out when they're playing together and they're winning together and they're friends. But then like Tashi kind of throws this wrench in it, and now we're separating the confidence and the natural talent. And I forgot where I was going to go off with this tangent, but Patrick basically needs to be kind of like disciplined and humbled, and Tashi gives him that. And that, I don't know, I think it all kind of boils down to what makes a good game of tennis, and it's like the relationships between the people playing the game. Do you know what I'm saying?
I really like that part where he at the end where he holds the tennis ball in the middle.
Oh, that was crazy.
I liked that. That
Watching
was
that
really
in the
well done.
movie theater for the first time, that was crazy. Oh
And
my
you know
God.
what? I was like, yeah, Art deserves this. This
Well,
is what he deserves.
that's what he needed. It created like this like motivation, like the fire under him to play a good game of tennis. Like that's what really got him going. Like it's not Tashi's approval that does it. Like it's his like anger and his fire, and then they actually play a good game of tennis.
All right, who's a better man, Patrick Zwig or Patrick Bateman?
Zwig? What kind of question is this?
Okay. That's just me, I guess.
Okay, yeah. Nima really likes the yuppie serial killer.
No, I like Patrick. Patrick reminded me of myself.
Oh.
It really did.
Okay.
This whole time I was seeing...
Maybe you should reflect on that.
No.
Okay.
I see myself in a lot of characters.
Mm.
It's definitely not Art. I'm not an art person.
Yeah.
God, it's hot in here.
It's really warm in here.
What's wrong with these people?
I
They don't turn on the
know.
AC.
Yeah, I think every room has its own AC.
Do you have an AC in your like dorm?
Yeah.
Oh,
We don't turn
gosh.
it on though. The electricity bill is crazy.
Yeah, I remember when I was in like whatever Brandywine. Is that what it is?
I don't. Yeah.
You know, it's like the towers.
Middle Earth.
Yeah, Middle
Yeah.
Earth, and no AC.
Really?
And
In
they
the
ma-
towers?
Yeah, and they make the argument like, oh, it's for the climate, and I was like, okay, that's great. Let's take all the AC out of all the offices for all the teachers. It's not the climate. They're trying to save money.
Yeah.
They're trying to screw people over.
That's so interesting.
So I'm taking that out with UCI. I'm going to be suing them for so much money.
Yeah.
It's going to be
It's like
insane.
emotional distress from being so hot.
Mm.
You could
Yeah.
you could have heat stroke.
I'm going to demand that like they name a building after me. I won't even take their money.
The NEMA building.
Yep.
What would your building be?
I don't know actually. Probably-
NEMA's building of
Business, political science, either one. But the political science buildings are all old. Yeah, business. You know the business school is named after the guy that invented the Hot Pocket?
I did not know that. That's so great. That
It
is
is great.
really great.
Yep.
Wow. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
That made me feel a little bit more pride in my school.
And you said you are a psychology major.
That I am.
So tell us about the psychology of each character.
I mean, I kind of already went into it. Like, Tashi is living vicariously through
Oh,
art,
yeah.
who needs Tashi to motivate him to be a good player. But what Tashi really needs is Patrick's kind of like unhinged passion, I guess, because that's kind of what she really craves out of a good tennis match. And then Patrick needs to be like humbled, or what's another word for humbled? I'm like trying to look for it.
Nah.
No, okay.
Oh, you mean like humiliated?
No. It's like
He needs mommy.
he needs to be more modest.
Nah.
He needs to kind of be controlled. He needs
Yeah.
he needs to be disciplined. He needs a little bit of discipline in his tennis
Yes.
playing. And so in that way, they're all kind of like playing a fun game of scales of like, how do we balance each other out?
He just needed like a god, and she became God.
Not for Patrick.
Not Patrick.
For art, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, he needed something to like motivate him because he didn't have it. And that's where his game was lacking.
It would have been good if they made him an orphan.
Okay. Interesting.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know what I found? I found that some of the best characters in cinema are always looking for father figures.
Mm.
And in his case, the mother figure. For sure.
I guess.
She is.
I guess.
She
Yeah.
becomes his mom.
Well, like, that's kind of a her thing. I don't think he really likes that. I think he likes just having her because it makes him feel like he's accomplishing something.
Yeah, but that's kind of sad.
Well,
If you don't have
yeah.
any self-confidence, someone has to tell you you're great. And then, like,
Which she doesn't even really do.
yeah, because he's, like, over the hill.
Yeah.
And
But she, even when he wants to quit, though, she's like, absolutely not. I will leave you.
wait, say it again? Wait.
Even when he wants to quit, even though he's over the hill, she's like, I don't care. Like, I will
keep
leave you
playing.
if you quit.
Oh.
Did you, like, miss that part?
Well, I thought she says like, yeah, if you lose, I'll leave you. But
Mhm.
my feeling was she was gonna leave him basically either way.
Oh, well, for sure. Well, I don't know.
But
because
maybe
she's
the
living
end,
vicariously
maybe
through
the
him.
end is like, they get divorced probably. She goes with him.
I don't think she goes with anyone. I think Tashi kind of like lives out her days by herself, and I think Patrick and Art kind of.
Yeah, let's just talk about the fact that Tashi created a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Remember that argument with Patrick?
Which one?
Before she breaks her knee?
Oh yeah. Well, he ate her up on that.
Yeah, like she starts it.
Yeah.
She's the one that's doing something wrong. Then she
Yeah.
breaks her knee. And then this is when Art stabs his friend in the back
Yeah.
and sides with her even though she's wrong. And she's like,
Well,
flipping out at.
arguably, like Patrick should have come to the game regardless. Like that was his
No.
friend.
Why?
Whoa. Because, like, they were in a relationship and, like...
No, but the argument before, she was like, said how bad he was.
Well, yeah.
Why would he come to the game?
Because,
it's
like,
only in
that's
retrospect.
your girlfriend.
Yeah, but this is real life. When you fight, you're like...
Nima, I feel like you'd be a horrible partner.
No. Well, this is real life. She wouldn't want him to come anyway. Because in that scene where they argue, they both insult each other to the core.
Yeah.
And then she gets mad at him for not coming, but like she didn't want him to come in the first place. I kind of felt they broke up, basically.
I feel like that was a bit ambiguous, and the gesture of showing up even after the argument is kind of like the point of contention. Like, he was supposed to make that gesture to show that, like, even though they argued, like,
He
was
came to
still
the
there for
hospital.
her.
Yeah, he came to the hospital. But
Well,
then
that
he was
wasn't
snaked.
enough. That was
It was.
that wasn't enough.
He's
He
the
should have
good
been
guy.
there at the game.
He's the good guy. No. He was not wrong. She was wrong.
Nima.
And then his friend snakes him. No, this is 100% true.
No.
Yes.
This is an opinion. Like, this
No,
is
it's
just
not.
an
This is
opinion.
true. That's
Okay.
what the movie was trying to... as long as you view her as the villain, she started it. And
She
then,
did start it, but
But a tennis match is no big deal if you miss a tennis match. That's like, it's just you didn't go to the tennis match because you fought. He didn't know she was
that's
going to
so
break.
petty. Like, that's so petty to do. It's
But that's...
like, I'm here, I'm visiting you from tour, and I'm not going to go to your tennis match because we got in a fight. Like, that's so childish.
But it's the right thing to do because
No,
if someone...
Nima,
if
you
someone...
need to go to therapy, Nima.
No. Well, then you turn into art.
That's not true.
It is. If
That's
someone
not
if
true.
someone can abuse you with impunity, then and you just reward that, that means it will just keep happening. He stood up on
Nima,
his
never
2
get a
feet.
girlfriend, Nima,
And
never
that
get a girlfriend.
No, if you think about it,
Nima,
if you
never
think
get a
about it,
girl- if you think
Patrick
about it.
Patrick is the one that gets the girls in the movie, and that's how he acts. So you're wrong. I'm not even saying
Guys, I'm cringing so hard right now. Like, I need you to know.
no, it's true. He stood up on his own 2 feet, and who did she love in the end?
She doesn't love either of them.
No.
She doesn't love
She
either
likes
of them.
Patrick, for
She
sure.
felt more for Patrick, for sure, but I
She
mean,
didn't
love, like, all
love
she loves
art.
is tennis. She doesn't love anything but tennis. That's like her whole
Yeah,
thing.
maybe it's more lust, but she's still
Okay.
attracted to it. I don't know if maybe love is a nice word for her, I guess. I didn't even think at the end she was too much of a villain because at least she wasn't jealous that they got
Well,
together.
she wasn't jealous, but she was also manipulative and low-key, like, abusive.
Exactly.
And
That's why he was right to stand up on his own 2 feet
well,
and be
she
like,
wasn't
nah.
abusive during the fight. Like, they were just insulting each other, and he didn't show up to the game, which was mean and petty to do.
No,
Yeah.
that's totally wrong.
Oh my god, it's so
That's
totally
wrong.
Okay, the thing about Nima, guys, having a conversation with Nima, you will propose a different perspective, and he just cannot conceptualize it at
I
all.
can't. No,
so
no,
he's
I
like,
can
you're wrong. You're wrong on the Nima show. Like, my
So
opinion
hot
is
in here.
so-
Holy crap.
It's because I'm grilling him.
No. It's
It
honestly
is
like
pretty warm. It's really warm.
it must be like 90, not 90.
This is not nice.
This is like 80 at least.
I think that knob is the air conditioning.
No, that's not.
Well, what
I
is
wish. There is no AC in here. It never is on.
it?
Trust
Well,
me.
maybe nobody's touched the knob.
No. There's no thermostat in
Then-
this building.
then
You
what's-
can't control it.
There's an AC in Studio B or in Studio whatever C.
Yeah, it's locked, isn't it? I've
I
tried to
don't know.
mess with it.
Okay, well, I've never tried to mess with it because I'm a better person than that. But
No.
has anyone touched that knob?
Yeah,
What does it do?
it does nothing.
Then why is it there?
I think it's for like, I don't know, speakers or something.
It's not for speakers. This is for
Okay,
speakers.
you know what? I'm gonna go touch the knob.
Nemo's gonna go touch the knob. Guys, I really like this movie. Except whenever, oh man, it was a light switch.
Who was right? Going back to
You were right, and I can admit that,
yeah.
and I can be at peace with
And
that.
you know what?
Which
You
is
know what
something
else
that you
I'm right
can't
about?
say.
I'm right. I'm right that when Zendaya is being rude and abusive to Patrick.
He was not okay.
Who
No,
is-
she was not abusive to Patrick. Come on.
Yeah.
Abusive? They
Yes.
just got in a fight.
No, she was being verbally abusive, not physically.
Not
but
really.
she was like trying to insult him where it hurts. Like she wasn't. She was trying.
Abusive is a crazy word for that.
Yeah.
She was just being really
I mean
mean.
verbally abusive. I
Like,
don't mean.
Well, even then. I feel like that's
Just
a heavy
say I'm
word
right.
for it. No. Why would no?
Just
You
say.
picked the wrong guest for that. I'm so sorry. Like no.
Do you know I've had a guest on every single time for every show,
I didn't know that.
and you are here. Let's give a round of applause. Okay.
And
That's
you are here? Okay.
that's
awesome.
why they pay me $800,000 an episode.
Yeah.
You're getting paid, right?
Yeah. All my money goes to the licensing.
Right. Anyway, so we just established I'm right, so let's move on.
I don't think that's what happened. Like guys in the comments, who do you agree with?
They for sure. Well, if you see the movie, you'll agree with me, especially the fellas.
I think your take is like, forgive me, Nima, but I think your take is just a little shallow.
No.
I think it's a little shallow,
No.
and I think it's not all encompassing of,
Do you have
all
parents?
the characters. Do I have parents?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's say mom and dad. Let's say mom had a like a violin recital.
Okay.
Dad was supposed to come, but before then she starts, degrading him and talking about how, he's a loser and everything about him is terrible. Would dad go to this violin thing?
Okay.
Or would he be like, you know what?
Well,
I'm not divorcing you. It's not over, but I need a break from this because you're out of control right now.
Well, first of all, that's not what Patrick said. Patrick said if you want a little lapdog, you should go be with Art.
It's
And-
true.
Well,
He was
which
right
is true,
about
which
that.
is true, and he ate her up on that. But like, that's not. She wasn't just like degrading him, and he was like taking
was.
it. No, that
Oh, yeah,
they
he
were
wasn't
fighting,
taking it.
They were fighting like with
Right.
each other. And
Right.
if my mom had a violin recital and they were fighting, I would still expect my dad to go and to take me because
You just want to go to a free violin recital.
not really. I really don't like violin recitals much, but it's just like it's
We all know
just
I'm
the
right about this.
gestures that you do when you're in love with someone. It's like, and you're committed to each other.
For
you
sure.
make gestures like that. You do things that you don't want
For
to do.
sure.
Even if the other person hurt you, you have to like kind of lick your wounds and
For
commit.
for sure that if you are in a loving marriage, you do that. But there are times in the short term where you can't do whatever someone wants when they're treating you poorly.
To be fair, Tashi was like, "Don't come,"
Yeah, she's right about
but
that.
he should have
A
gone
plus.
anyway. But he should
No,
have
he
gone
shouldn't
anyway
have.
as a gesture, Nima.
No,
Oh my god.
veto power. Bam.
Okay, can we move on?
I'm gonna get a button. Bam. Okay, I want to talk
It's a
about
Sarah button.
soundtrack.
So good.
Okay, there were times where it worked and there were times where it didn't work. Sometimes they like the gimmick of this film in terms of the soundtrack
Yeah.
was playing really loud music over important conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And occasionally it worked. And then I think it was the scene in the sauna. I could be wrong about that.
I knew you were going to talk about this.
But it was so loud where it took away from the emotional power of the scene, and I was like, nah, they're pressing this too hard. And then also I feel like at the end of the tennis match it was a little too much, and just there were times where they pushed it too far and it took away from moments they wanted to kind of hit home. But you disagree?
Well, personally, I really enjoyed that aspect. I didn't think it took away from it. I think it drew me in more because I was more like in tune to the conversation because I had to listen over the music.
Was that a joke? In tune?
No, but that's great. Thank you.
welcome.
I was in tune to the music, yeah. Or in tune to the conversation because I had to listen over the music. And I don't know, it worked. I like when things are a little unconventional and like different. I don't think that cheapened the conversation for me. It made me more excited about the movie.
Am I right about this? Patrick wins the match at the beginning of the film, doesn't he? Or did I just like miss-see that?
I think you missaw that because
Okay.
the match ends at the end of the film.
All right, I thought when I watched the movie that at the beginning he wins the match.
Well, he wins like a match, but it's not the match. I think.
Maybe
right?
I missaw it.
I think you missaw it. Well, he wins, like, there's sets.
Okay.
So he won first set, Art won the second set, so they were tied. So it was
I
the
see.
tie-breaking set. at
Maybe
the
that's
end.
what
I think that's
happened.
what you're thinking of.
Another thing, I would say generally the direction was good. It was very like new filmy.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't direction was good, but it wasn't like great.
Well, I think the movie spoke for itself. I don't think
Yeah.
there was much else he could have done to be more direction-y.
Here's another thing I like about the film. It was very like naturalistic.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like a hangout movie in a way.
Explain
Maybe
what you mean by that.
I'm using it and not in the way that people use it in film usually. I just mean like it's like characters that you kind of just spend time with and get to know. The story isn't like really deep. It's kind of like just a feeling. And why are you making faces?
I'm like, whoa, I don't agree with that at all. That was a visceral, like, disagree.
No, I feel like it's not a feeling. It's more like a vibe. And I don't mean that in like a cringe way, but I just felt like you get to like spend time with the characters and like learn who they are, and you're just beset with their problems.
In a way, I agree, for sure. But I think, I don't know, I got really into the characters' problems. Like, I got really into it. So I wasn't just hanging out and vibing with them.
Maybe it's because I was laying in bed.
Maybe. Dude, you should have watched this in theaters. This was crazy to watch in theaters. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Okay,
Leaned
yeah.
over.
That's a good thing. The tennis match at the end, good tension there.
Great tension there.
I do like, I don't know, we talked about it in our first draft of this show. Like, I compared it to Casino Royale. Not that it's anything like it, but Casino Royale all hinges on a poker game at the end of the movie. This is similar, where it's taking a tennis match and making it entertaining and suspenseful for an audience, which is hard in a film. Make a tennis match a story. Make it more than just what it is, a tennis match. Same thing with poker. Like, in that movie, making poker almost like, I don't know, not just a game, but like a theme, I guess. And they kind of build it up throughout the movie. And she specifically, Tashi's character, did that with tennis, where she was like talking about tennis as a relationship. And I kind of only got that at the end of the movie, what she fully meant. Because it's the like the intensity, but also it was literally their relationship. They hugged at the end, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's actually pretty special.
Well, tennis is only really good when you have a match, like when you're matched with somebody equally as like gifted as you at the game. Otherwise, it's really boring and horrible, which I think is the same with relationships. Like, you kind of have to be on the same level as somebody to be with them. And so I think in that way too, it kind of plays into their whole like using each other for different things.
Do you believe, this is totally opposite, but
Okay.
since you're a psychology major, do you believe opposites attract?
In a way, sometimes. In other ways, no. I mean, it is psychologically proven that we're like attracted to people who remind us of us. But also, there is a certain truth to opposites attract. I just think it's like a nuanced area.
I would say opposites attract if the opposite thing is things you wish you were.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a cynical way of looking at it, but sure. Like,
But I swear that's true.
if there are traits in somebody that you don't have that you wish to adopt, I mean, that definitely adds to your admiration of them, you know. But that also has to be true for the other person.
Maybe move the mic a bit closer.
I can just go closer to the mic, yeah.
You're really quiet.
Am I?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to put...
You should have been tracking this the whole episode. You just now started.
Well...
You know what's really loud?
I'm on a 30-year contract. Oh, yeah, let's talk about this. Okay, you guys probably hear this crappy music. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Is the C word okay?
I think it's okay, but it's frowned upon.
Okay, well, we don't care about that.
Okay.
Anyway, this music is just
I think it's
terrible.
fitting. Okay, first of all, I don't think it's terrible. It's kind of ironic and it's funny.
terrible.
I think it's really funny.
So I come in here, I hear from the parking lot this awful, like,
oh my Nima.
repetitive, dumb music coming outside, and then I walk in, and it's two schmucks.
I love these
they're
guys.
playing-
They're really nice.
And we hear it in Studio C.
yeah. It could it be turned down a little bit? For sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think it's fun. It adds to the theme of the movie.
It sounds like the
Oh, can I-
Challengers music.
No, yeah, but can I tell you something interesting about the soundtrack? They
No,
didn't.
end of show.
Okay, never mind.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, they they made the soundtrack as they were editing the movie, so they didn't have a soundtrack before. They watched the movie and then they made the music for certain scenes. I thought that was really interesting.
You're very emotive.
I am.
I can't tell. Like, okay, so when I make a joke, like when I like cut you off and say, like, no, end of show, and you make like a upset face, is that like a joke?
Yeah,
Okay.
I knew you were joking.
All right, good. You don't know what you're dealing with sometimes.
That's fair. Yeah.
There's
I
a
think
certain person at KUCI that doesn't understand jokes. You know who I mean. Right?
Yeah. I don't know who you mean, and I would like to be excluded from this narrative. Yeah.
Starts with that
I don't
letter.
know. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, she knows.
Peace and love to everyone here.
Peace and love.
That was so sinister. Did you guys hear that? Oh wow. You sounded like this one villain. I forgot. Say it again.
Emperor Palpatine or something.
No, it's like a cartoon villain.
Peace and love.
Oh, that was uncanny. I'm gonna think about that. I'm gonna think about that a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say something, but what
I'm sure
was
you
it?
were.
Oh yeah. My I subbed for Arian.
I love Ari, yeah.
Yeah. I've known Arian since I was like 4.
I know you told me this. And you guys
Okay.
moved to California together from
That's how much of a
Ohio.
leader I am. They follow me. Can you believe that?
Okay, sure. Yeah.
And yeah, I was subbing for his show, but I had Brooke on, who was in the studio.
Oh, that's so fun.
Brooke is a good guest.
Brooke is so funny.
I recommend you watch our show. I posted on YouTube.
No, I will. What is it?
I'll just send it to you. But
Okay.
it's just called like guest hosting based tunes.
Okay.
And yeah, we were doing it, bro. And we were recording it, or at the end of her show, she said something like, peace and love to all, or hugs and kisses to all, and I was like, just what? It's like,
Nima doesn't understand the concept of a hug or kiss,
No,
nor does he
I do.
understand conceptually peace and love.
I do, but I just wanted to laugh at that. I was like,
You just
mine.
hate joy and whimsy. Like, you just are, Lord Hater from Wander Over Yonder. Like, that's you. You are Lord Hater.
I was just no. I like and love things, but I just couldn't imagine like closing out my show with that.
Peace and love. I'm going to start closing out my show with that just to spite you.
You know what I say on my show?
What do you say?
I say, I'm with you to the end of the line.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just ripped off from Captain America and Winter Soldier.
I think it's interesting that you chose that movie.
It has deep meaning for me.
Okay. Oh,
no doubt.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, seriously.
Struck a nerve there.
But you should have heard my first outro on my first show. I did a whole like really sophisticated outro, and then I was just like, this is too complicated, so I just shortened it.
Okay. I freestyle my outros every night.
What do you say?
Every night, every week.
Do you say peace and love?
I'm like, thank you guys all for hanging out with me tonight. I'm so excited. Like, I had such a good time. Like,
Exactly.
good night.
See?
Well, but now I'm going to start saying peace and love.
Because I know. And no, she didn't say peace and love. She's like, I love you to the moon and back.
Oh, I love Brooke so much. I was at Denny's with Brooke. I'm like, that is the funniest person I've ever met in my life. Like, she is just a bundle
She's
of joy.
funny,
She's
yeah.
so fun.
Yeah, she went to Switzerland.
For what? Por qué?
I do know. She would talk about it in the show. She like went to dig up dinosaurs or something.
Oh, that's so cool.
It was like some ridiculous, no, I'm just kidding, thing. And then she hit me with like peace and love, guys. And I was like, Brooke, come on. You're going on my show. You got to be more serious than that.
What's with you and being serious? I feel like you just have this serious, cynical
I'm
energy.
a bit cynical.
And I feel like I come on here as like a ray of light and love, and we have this really opposing force going on.
Right now, I'm like the sun, and you're like the moon.
I would argue the opposite, but I do love the moon, so I'll take it.
Well, people on my show know me for
Scathing reviews and
scathing
nihilistic tendencies.
Oh, that is so true.
I have a good read.
What do you think the purpose of life is?
Have fun.
No.
I'm a hedonist at heart.
That's dangerous.
I'm good about it. I'm responsible.
Hedonism can lead to your downfall.
I know, but that's why it's like a delicate game. You just have to create fun wherever you go and whatever you do. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, another. Wait.
Like with Challengers, when you're watching Challengers, which is the point of our show.
Purpose of life. Wait. Do you really think it's like just having fun?
Like have as much fun, enjoy as much as you can. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I feel like there's a few meanings to life, but I think I would say the overwhelming purpose of life would be to fix the world, repair the world.
I feel like that's like not the purpose of life. I think that's like your human drive.
That's good. Thank you.
Thanks.
Is that a compliment?
Yeah. Well, that's a lot more optimistic than I thought you are capable of. So.
Well, there's other things I think are the purpose of life, like
reproduce,
living forever.
Oh, okay.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love is the purpose of life, actually.
When I say living forever, I mean like having people remember you.
What's the word for that?
Legacy. I would say
There's
that's
a
the purpose
movie.
of life.
Oh, that's not a movie. Never mind.
What is it?
Nothing. It's really relevant.
Just say it.
Okay, well, if you're in the crim department at UCI, you probably know Flacco, and he has like this whole chapter in his book about legacy, and it like saved him and a bunch of other prisoners from like death row or something. Yeah, I thought it was a movie scene. It was not. It was a chapter in a book. But
interesting. I have another question. Do you
Okay.
believe in God?
I feel like we should steer away from this one.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like we should talk about Challengers.
No. We're done with Challengers.
What? There's so much more we could talk about with Challengers.
Just come on, yes or no?
the
Or maybe.
gender roles in Challengers are really
Maybe.
interesting because
Do you
it's
believe
so...
in God? Maybe. Maybe. Are you an atheist? I'm just wondering. We're talking about the meaning of life.
That doesn't have to include God. It can just be human.
So where we say you're maybe.
If that's what you want to say.
All right. She's very secretive.
I have to have an air of mystery.
And I had another question, but I forgot it.
This is just interview Sarah time. I'm like, I love this.
Yeah, well, what was my question? It was so good. And I think it did maybe relate back to Challengers. You feel like as you get older, your brain just goes.
Well, if you don't take care of it, everything will go. It's like it's muscle just like the rest of you.
Well, yeah. Nah, I just feel like maybe it's just because I don't care as much.
About anything?
I guess my level of care has gone down. Maybe it's not to do with age. And, anyway, let's just...
Okay, yeah.
What was I gonna say? I had such a good question that would have really put you on your toes.
I'm sure. I feel like it's hard to do for me.
It's easy.
You
couldn't answer, do you believe in God?
Well, I just don't want to answer. I could answer if I wanted to.
Why?
I just don't.
Okay, ask me a question.
What?
Like,
I
ask
didn't come
me a
prepared for
question.
this.
No, just like think of something.
Okay. Do you own any other shirts beside this Muhammad Ali shirt? Because
Did I
think
wear
this
this
is
last
all I
time?
see you in. Yeah.
Oh.
I think you wore it to volunteer too.
Did I really?
I think, because I think this is the only thing I've ever seen you in.
Huh. Yeah, I do own other shirts. I own nice clothes.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your favorite brand?
I don't have a favorite brand because I don't like corporations.
Oh, that's terrible because I have a plan.
That's terrible.
I have a plan to make KUCI. I have a plan to get you paid. I have a plan. We just turn into a corporate thing. do ads.
No.
Everybody gets paid.
No.
You'll be happy.
No.
You'll be happy.
I'm happy unpaid.
and
I'm happy
taken
having
care
this as
of.
a hobby.
I can't just be the only one that gets paid $800K an episode.
I think that's beautiful. I think
No.
that's, yeah. I think if we pay people to be on air, it ruins the integrity of the real, like, music lovers who do this for the passion of it, you know? And the PA hosts who actually, like, have something to talk about.
Passion plus money equals more effort on the shows.
Disagree wholeheartedly.
I'm totally right about this, guys.
This is where Nemo would pull out the Sarah shut up button.
Yeah.
Sarah's wrong
Okay,
button.
what else do you have to say about Challengers if you really want to talk about it? But I think we hit everything that's worth hitting.
I think we just had a, like, coffee table discussion about Challengers. I don't think we really got into the nitty gritty. Like,
Well, what is there to talk about?
let's talk about
The dirty scenes?
No,
'Cause my show
also,
is
like,
above
it's not
that.
even that dirty. Like, they don't.
It's-
Nothing happens. Like,
In a way that makes it worse.
I thought it was interesting how this movie was shot in the way it frames men in the way that women usually are, and like a lot of upper thigh, a lot of leg, a lot of sweat, a lot of wet hair. Like, it's like very, like, they shoot the men like that, and Tashi is kind of the figure that's always, like, put together, composed. I thought that was interesting. I think in the thing that happens in the trailer, that doesn't usually happen in movies or anything really. Like, usually it's like two girls and a guy, you know. But then in this movie, it, like, romanticizes that, and it, like,
Well, it shows how, like, she manipulates them.
well, yeah, but, I mean, yes, but, like, I just think it's crazy.
How were they not
that
pissed off in that scene? She totally
they
played them
were
like a
they were
fiddle.
into, because they're like, there's, like, a love there for each other, you know, like.
Yeah, of course.
Also, I think that they have experimented with each other, and, like, we just don't know about it. I think the lore runs deep with them.
I don't think so. I didn't.
I think you
so.
don't want to think so.
No. I would.
We can talk about how Art is literally her lapdog and how that comes back and how he literally lays on her lap.
Yeah,
Like,
but
that
a
was
lot
so
of men
cinematic.
are like that.
No, that was so cinematic in the movie.
I told you. A lot of film is about male characters striving to find father figures. But in this case, he's finding a mother figure. She becomes his mom.
I think that just diminishes the point of the movie.
It's not the point of the movie. It's a point in his character that she's not exactly his
But
wife.
he doesn't come.
Okay,
They
okay,
both come
hold on,
from
hold on.
rich. Okay.
Anakin Skywalker.
I'm like,
He's on a
Nemo, go one
constant-
show without mentioning Star Wars Challenge.
He's on a constant search for father figures his whole life. You're not into Star Wars as much. He obviously never had a father.
Mm-hmm.
So his first father is Qui-Gon Jinn, who's dead. He dies. Then it becomes Obi-Wan. Then the ultimate father becomes Emperor Palpatine, who's like controls him completely. But he also has this mother figure literally after his mother dies. The next scene is when Padme basically gives in to him and says, like, oh, I love you. She becomes his mother in that moment. Not mother.
That's so Freudian.
It is. Not mother because not like this guy, not like Art. He's still like has agency and like ambition and all this, but in terms of the fact that like he really needs her, like that is kind of like his mother figure. But I would say he's more characterized by search for father figures. But Art, I say he should have been made an orphan because that would have built more on his character. Well, I think you can think about that. He probably was.
I think you could think about that. I think it's established that they both went to like this really rich boarding school, and they both have really like rich parents, and they're both like pretty normal guys. And so I think that isolates.
Let's say his mother died.
Well, you don't know that. And also, like, that's so, like, if this happens, then this happens. Like, that's not always the case.
Yeah, I'm not saying it has to happen, but
I think that diminishes the Tashi equals motivation aspect and validation aspect. I think just
No,
being
because
like,
your
well,
mother
she's
can do
mommy.
that.
I mean, yeah, but that's not, like, the only role of a mother. Like, she doesn't, like,
True.
take care of him. She, like, actively pushes him to his limit. That's not, like, mommy, you know?
Yeah, but I don't know. I just felt like the fact that just the relationship, it didn't really feel like he was even like they were like husband and wife. It didn't really feel
because
that
it was
much.
coach and like
Yeah,
whatever. It wasn't.
your
husband
mom
wife.
drives you to practice.
She driving him to practice. Like, he couldn't get away from her. Like, he had to go to practice with her, come home with her. It was all tennis. All she talks about is tennis. She doesn't talk about anything else but tennis. Like, the whole movie, there's not a single thing. Maybe when Patrick is like, your mom looks good, and she's like, I know Patrick. Like, that was funny.
Wait, Patrick says your mom looks. Wait.
Yeah, in the hotel when No, to Tashi in the hotel. This was a really funny moment that I think gets underlooked, where he's like trying to score a date or score a night with this one girl on Tinder, and he sees Tashi and he goes up to her and he's like, your mom looks good. And Tashi's like, I know Patrick. And it's really funny. I think the comedy in this film is like really underrated. Like,
that was really her mother, right?
Yeah. Well, I actually don't know. Like Zendaya's mom?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She said like it was Art's mom died, I think. Anyway, we got about like 10 more minutes.
Okay.
So what do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about, Neil? It's your show. I'm just here.
What movie should I recommend to you?
Ooh, okay.
Why don't we talk about that right now?
Okay.
Do you have like anything that you think you would be interested in watching?
No, I'm kind of just excited to see what you throw at me. I don't want to influence your opinion in any way. Like, you were really trying to get me to do Virgin Suicides, and I refused.
I feel like you're not gonna like the movie I pick.
That's assumptive. What am I trying to say? Assumptive?
Presumptive.
Yes, thank you. That's presumptive. That still doesn't feel right.
Give me some credit. I did like your film.
You did. You spent a lot of time being like, this is what it means, and I spent a lot of time being like, I don't know about that.
I know, but only one of us can be right.
That's not true.
See, these are all, as you say, boy movies.
It's okay. I love a good boy movie. Fight Club, loved Fight Club. American Psycho, loved American Psycho.
Yeah, but then you spoiled it.
What do you mean I spoiled it?
We talked about it in the last show.
Yeah.
You poo-pooed all over it.
No, I didn't. All I said was that
did.
it's a critique on young male yuppie culture on Wall Street, and it's not a critique on serial killers.
Yeah, but it's also like, oh my God, they're awesome.
No, you have to read past that.
Yes.
That's like, have you watched Shaun of the Dead?
No.
Probably not, because you're above that. Wait, really? Okay.
Wait, because I'm what?
Because you're above that.
Oh, no, I did.
Okay,
yeah,
it's
I watched it with
watching
my cousin.
Shaun of the Dead. And in the beginning, you're like, this is a movie about a guy having a normal day. Instead of being like, this is a movie about how everything is going wrong in the background. And
how about it's a movie about how annoying British people are? I'm just kidding. I love British people.
I do love British people.
I lived in London for a few months.
Why?
It's hard to explain,
That's
but
okay.
It's kind of like an extended trip, let's say.
Awesome.
I live right next to Parliament.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know about the walkie-talkie building?
Yeah.
I love the walkie-talkie building.
I've been to the top of it.
Wait, really?
Have you?
No. I just saw it, and I was like, that's the walkie-talkie building.
Yeah, that was the one I went to the top of. It's awesome.
I love Camden, like Camden Market, like Camden Street.
Yeah, I know Camden, but let me just remind myself.
The real reason I wanted to go to London was because there was this huge Lush store, like Lush, like Bath and Body.
Camden.
You don't like Camden?
No.
Because it's lively and fun and energetic and vibrant?
Nah, I don't like Camden. I drove through it.
You drove through it? Okay.
Yeah. In a Rolls Royce.
Of course.
I'm just kidding.
Because you had to talk to the Queen.
I wish. Where else do you like in London? Let's end the show this way. Forget movies. Movies are
well, I liked London. I had a good time in London. I can't say like.
You go to Harry Potter World?
No, I was not a big Potterhead. I was a Hunger Games girl through and through.
Okay, even if you don't like Harry Potter, you missed out, because it's just, if you like film, it's really impressive.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of just going in the sets, the real sets from the movies, they're huge and awesome and really detailed.
That's like the Warner Brothers studio tour.
Yeah.
Which I loved. That was like one of the best experiences of my life. Really?
It's way better. The one in Universal, you mean?
Yeah.
No.
No, not Universal. The Warner Brothers studio. It's like on the lot. You go into the sets and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Have you done that?
No, I haven't actually. I've done the Universal.
You have to. You have to go.
Yeah.
It's so worth it. It's the most worth it thing ever. It's worth the drive to Burbank.
Burbank.
It's above LA. It's
That's
the
like
valley above
Camden.
LA. No, it's not.
Okay. Where else in London have you been?
I went to the Sherlock Holmes thing.
Yes.
I was talking about the Lush, the big 3-story Lush. Everyone was high. Everyone was so high in there, and I only knew that in retrospect. I just thought they were friendly because I went when I was like 14. But that was really funny to look back on. What else did I like in London? I didn't like the weather. It was really overcast.
Go to like Madame Tussauds.
No, I can do that anywhere else in the world.
It's different in London.
I don't really like.
Star
I'm not
Wars
into
section
like
wasn't
gimmicks
the
like
same.
that.
How about Buckingham Palace?
I did go there. Yeah, I was kind of bored. Can we talk about Pret a Manger, the coffee place?
Oh,
I love.
They have that in America.
But not many, and they're hard to get to, and it's kind of different. It's just special for London for me. That was
I
so
actually
fun.
never went when I was in London.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
that was like
because
the highlight of my trip.
I had it in like DC when I was like 15, and I was like, it's okay.
How about I loved the underground. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
Watch what is it? Mind the Gap.
Yeah.
Please mind the gap.
Trust me, when you live there, it gets a little tiring, especially when you're trying to save money. It's
Using
hot.
public transportation is bad for saving money.
No, it's good.
Okay, I thought you were implying the
when you have to
opposite.
save money, you go on it so much, and
Yeah.
it's so hot in the summer.
Oh,
There's no
I went during the
AC.
summer. It's fine.
It was bad, very bad. And at certain times of the day, it's packed. But
Yeah.
it is a good public transport in that people are orderly. You don't have to
Oh,
be
yeah.
scared
Nemo.
of people.
People in London know how to walk. They walk on the right
yeah.
side. They stand on the right side.
Yes.
Oh, it's so beautiful. And nobody here does that. That's what I miss
Also-
about London the most.
Also, people are so polite, so charming, so nice.
Very charming.
The old men are all like charming and like they like are very polite.
Mm-hmm.
And then the women are like very sweet,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone else is just cool.
Yeah.
When you go to France, on the other hand,
Oh, I haven't been to France yet.
they're very mean,
I feel like French people get a bad rep.
and it's pretty true.
I don't know. I have to see for myself. People say that I seem like I could speak French. Do you agree?
Yeah.
You think I look like I could speak French?
Mm-hmm. There was in one of my film classes, shout out to Lucy. She was from France.
Okay. That's so cool. Was she mean?
No.
See?
In my experience in France, the women are way nicer than the men.
Oh,
The
okay.
men are rude.
That lines up.
They don't like foreigners either. They don't like Americans.
Same with Spain. I'm kind of scared to go to Spain.
British people like Americans. Like we have a thing between our two countries where we're like we like their culture, they like ours.
Okay.
Like they make fun of us for sure, but they also like they imagine like Texas as like America.
Oh, that's so fun. Yeah. Yeah.
And we imagine that they're all like really
Prim and proper.
yeah. Which is definitely an exaggeration. They are polite, but it's like not their whole personality.
Yeah.
What else? Where have you been in Europe?
I think just London.
That's all? I thought you
I know,
said
that's really-
Spain.
Well, no, I said I'm scared to go to Spain.
Oh.
I think just London for now. When I was a little kid, I think we went to like Greenland or Iceland or something. Like I don't remember. And Scotland. We did that whole like upper Europe thing, but I don't remember that.
I almost went on a train to Scotland, but I was trying to save some cashola, so I decided not to. But it was a mistake in retrospect. I really wish I went to Scotland.
Missed out. I've been to South Africa. I've been to Korea. I've been to Canada.
Canada. Canada's weird in my opinion. It's just like America, but it's slightly off.
I kind of really enjoyed that. I was like, this is kind of what I wish America was. I went
Really?
at the time, yeah.
I just saw like the street signs had like the crown on them,
That was so fun.
and like I support the monarchy and everything
Support
as
the
I
monarchy.
said. But then I'm like, this just feels too much like America, and I was just like, no, this is wrong.
Interesting.
I gotta go home.
Okay. I thoroughly enjoyed
I
Canada.
just went to Toronto.
How was that?
I went for a wedding,
Okay.
and I was like probably 12, and I hate weddings.
Right. You
Weddings
would hate
and
weddings.
Weddings and funerals are
you
very
would
similar.
hate weddings. That's such a crazy thing to say. One is a celebration of love. The other is like a grievance.
Celebration of death.
Is it a celebration? It's more of like
Sometimes.
a grief thing.
And anyway, the after
Anyway.
party, I just went up in the groom's like guest bedroom and finished the entire campaign of Call of Duty Ghosts.
Okay.
That was the best thing
That's
I did
your
in
Canada
Canada.
trip. Awesome. I saw the Victoria Gardens. Like, we went on a ferry. I had poutine for the first time.
Poutine?
Yeah.
That's from France. Is
well,
it not?
Canada
Quebec?
is very French.
You went to Quebec?
No, I don't know where we went, but we just went up from Washington. Like, whatever the first thing
Oh, that's
is.
British Columbia.
Okay.
Like, you went to Vancouver.
I don't know. Maybe. Where's the Victorian Gardens? That's where I went.
Victorian Gardens. I've never heard of it.
Poutine. I was not impressed with poutine, though. I really hated it. I wish there was some flavor there. No offense to my Canadian.
It says Rancho Cucamonga. I think you were on acid at the time.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe I was
Wait.
on acid.
But let's see, Canada.
Nemo, would you ever do acid? Can we talk about this on air?
I don't know.
I don't know. Actually, that's kind of a gray
You're
area.
fired.
Okay. Oh, man.
Yep, it's in British Columbia.
I don't know if that's different. Is that different? Is that different?
No, that's where you went.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, that's pretty.
It was fun. I listened to the 1975, that whole trip.
All right, so that's basically our show.
That's a great way to end it.
Sign off for us, Sarah.
Peace and love, guys. That's all.
How dare you?
I told you.
Peace and love.
I had a great time. I wish we talked about challengers more.
We talked
I feel
about
like
it
you came
enough.
unprepared.
No.
I came so prepared.
Trust me, the best shows are where there's just a natural flow.
Nima, I think instead of having like you should have a PA show where you're like movies, but you should also just bring in random people to interview. I
I've
think
done
that's your
that
true
before.
calling.
I've done that before. Thank you. Finally, someone gives me the respect I deserve as an interviewer, as
Yeah.
a broadcaster.
I just feel like that's, when we were talking about challengers, you weren't as lit up as when you were like, do you believe in God? Like,
Yeah, because I like to interrogate people.
okay, so maybe interrogation. Is that where you want to go with your political science degree?
Yeah, I'll be a torturer.
Yeah. Expert waterboarder.
All right, guys and gals,
People.
and animals.
And animals, if you're listening.
This has been one of the greatest shows of all time, really. And we talked about this movie called Challengers. It's absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about everything, really, and it's been great. So thank you, guys. I'm with you to the end of the line.
Peace and love.